So designer fragrances, some people, they love designer fragrances and that's all they buy. Some people hate designer fragrances and they probably feel like they're, I guess, too good to wear or purchase them. And then you have some people like me who are in the middle where I will absolutely wear or purchase a designer fragrance if I love the way that it smells and, it has pretty decent performance and gets, compliments, which I think is the main sort of lane that most designer fragrances sort of fall into. Most designer fragrances, at least in my opinion, are made for like that sort of compliment getting factor when it comes to fragrances. All right. So in today's list, I have 5 fragrances that are in my collection that I absolutely love, and they are designer fragrances. All right. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Jamar from Vegas Scents, and again, if you're brand new to this channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe, and also to anyone watching, leave a like and a comment on the video. All right, so just to get started on this video, man, again, this is going to be 5 fragrances that I have in my collection. These are all designer fragrances that I absolutely love. All right, so the first fragrance is, in my opinion, I would say this is going to be the best, Bleu de Chanel fragrance from that sort of Bleu de Chanel line. And I mean, also, I would say this is probably going to be one of my favorite sort of blue fragrances, period. So this is going to be Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Now, this fragrance, it doesn't necessarily project as loudly as like the EDT or the EDP, and I would say this is also, it's not as popular because it is definitely a lot more expensive than what the EDT and the EDP are. But in my opinion, this is hands down, I would say, one of the best sort of designer fragrances that's come out in quite a long time. I would say it is, pretty much up there with, stuff like Dior Sauvage or even like the original Bleu de Chanel. But I think, with the added sort of, incense that you get with this fragrance, the added woodiness that you get with this, it kind of makes this a slightly more sort of mature fragrance. But I think this is just overall like a really sort of timeless sort of fragrance. And it's definitely one that I, intend to keep in my collection for as long as I have fragrances. So again, this is going to be Bleu de Chanel Parfum. All right, so the next one up, I would say this is another one of those fragrances that I intend to have in my collection no matter what, as long as I have fragrances. Even though, for most people, the performance on this is pretty lackluster. At least this new bottle that I've recently picked up has done me pretty well. And this is actually Dolce & Gabbana's the One EDP. All right. So I've owned this fragrance before in the past, and the previous bottle that I had of this, I would say I could really only smell this for maybe like, I don't know, the first 3 hours or so. And then after that, it was pretty much gone. As of recent, time here, with this new bottle that I purchased, I can smell this 6-7 hours down the line on me. And that's on skin. So I don't know if something has changed with the formulation of this fragrance where, they somehow made it stronger over the years. If that is the case, I wish, YSL would do that to YSL L'Homme and La Nuit de L'Homme. But either way, man, this fragrance is a really, really sexy tobacco and amber scent. Absolutely love this one. It's definitely one that I'm more so, reach for during the nighttime. But again, this one is going to be Dolce & Gabbana's the One EDP. So for me, I do love vanilla scents actually. And this is a vanilla scent that I think it definitely has enough sort of, masculine edge to this fragrance that I think even if you're someone that probably wouldn't be caught dead wearing a vanilla scent, this is still one that I think that, most people could probably at least try out. And I think you would be, kind of surprised at how much you may like this fragrance. This is going to be from Mercedes-Benz, and this is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. All right. So Club Black, at least to me, it has like this sort of smokiness, from the incense in this fragrance. It has that. It does have a really nice sort of fresh bergamot note that sort of lingers in the fragrance. And then obviously it does have, that sort of sweet vanilla in the fragrance as well. I would say with all of those sort of blended together, you don't necessarily get just a absolute vanilla bomb from this fragrance. I think, at least to my nose, I do pick up on those other sort of aspects, the smokiness, the sort of freshness from the bergamot. And I think, those sort of added elements to this fragrance, it does give it a different sort of vibe that doesn't make it, super feminine smelling the way that I think a lot of different vanilla scents do end up smelling. So again, I would say absolutely check this out. The performance on this is also pretty good as well. And this is going to be Mercedes-Benz Club Black. All right, and then the next fragrance up, this is actually the newest fragrance that I've recently picked up. And this one is going to be from the house of Valentino, and this is Valentino Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. All right, so this is the first sort of Born in Roma fragrance that I've actually smelled. I just blind bought this one pretty much. I was looking at purchasing either this one or Born in Roma Intense. I went ahead and went with this one because of the note breakdown that this one had. I saw that this one had like a red apple note. It had tobacco. So just seeing those two notes, those are what really sort of led me to get this one. Plus, from what I could see, online, this was a really high compliment getting fragrance. And I can definitely see why. This definitely does smell very designer-ish, I would say. Absolutely, it does. So this is going to be, I would say for some people, this may be of, kind of generic scent, like a lot of people like to call different sort of designer scents. I would say, definitely if you smell something like Invictus, or even, the other sort of, Born in Roma scents, then, definitely this is going to have some similarities to those. But this, at least for me, I do really enjoy the way that this fragrance smells. Like I said, I do like that combination of that red apple, the tobacco. Just pretty much all aspects of this fragrance are very pleasing, at least to my nose. And I think this is a super easy, and really wearable fragrance, when it comes to just throwing this fragrance on. I don't really see too many people not liking the way that this fragrance smells. And this also, it gives me pretty decent performance as well so far. So again, this is going to be Valentino Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. And then the last fragrance on this list, this is definitely, in my opinion, I would say one of my favorite sort of designer fragrances. Definitely, I would say my favorite aquatic style fragrance. This is going to be from Giorgio Armani, and this is Acqua Di Gio Profumo. All right. So Profumo right now is discontinued. I did previously, like earlier this summer, I went and picked up a 4.2 ounce bottle of Profumo. I got it off of Amazon, and it was one of the reformulated batches from like this year. And so what I ended up doing was I sold that fragrance and I went and picked up one of these. This is a 75 ml tester bottle from like 2018, I think 2018 or 2017, one of those. So definitely, and this is the magnetic cap version. All right. So that's definitely, if you're looking for Acqua Di Gio Profumo, I would say the magnetic cap version is the one that you want to sort of search for, because at least for me, I would say the patchouli that you get in this fragrance is definitely a lot stronger, when it comes to the magnetic cap version. And I would say just overall, the strength, when it comes to both the patchouli and the sort of incense, they're both, a lot stronger, I would say, in the older versions of Acqua Di Gio than what they are in the more newer versions. All right. So Again, like I said, this is one of my favorite sort of aquatic style fragrances. And this is a fragrance that it has enough strength to where you're able to kind of wear this all year round. So this isn't necessarily just a summertime only aquatic style fragrance. This definitely, it has enough strength to where it can sort of push even in the cooler, you know, winter and fall months as well. All right. So definitely, again, if you can still find a older style bottle of this fragrance that isn't priced, you know, like super ridiculous, then I would say go ahead and pick this up while you still can. Again, this is going to be Acqua Di Gio Profumo. So that's my list of designer fragrances that I have in my collection that I absolutely love. Let me know what you all thought about this list. Do you all have any of these fragrances? And if so, what do you all think about these fragrances? Do you love these fragrances? Do you hate them? Are they just okay? Let me know in the comments below. And again, if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And once again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see y'all in the next video.